Hey guys, this is Steli after with Closeo. Let me give you some advice on advisory boards for startups. So, right now, there's almost not a week that passes by without some startup or founder reaching out to me, asking me to join them as an advisor to the advisory board. Sometimes they'll include all the reasons why they need me to be an official advisor to their company. They will sometimes offer equity right out of the bat, attach some documentation, give me access to really sensitive files, and make a hard pitch on why I should advise them become part of the advisory board. As a founder that has put together advisory boards in the past for his own businesses, as well as joined a bunch of companies as advisor, here's what my thoughts and stances are on this and how my initial reaction is when people ask me to join formally their advisory boards. To me, it feels a little bit like being at a bar and meeting somebody you like for about 10 seconds and then that person bringing out a ring and proposing to you. Like, I get a little scared by that and go, whoa, 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 slow down a little bit. Why does it have to be such an official relationship right out of the bat? Why can't we just date for a while and get to know each other and then organically see if the relationship gets to a more committed point or not? If you want to get the advice of somebody and you feel like that person could make a major difference to your business, how about figuring out how to build a relationship first? Like, let's jump on a call and chat and see if I have any advice of value to offer for free to begin with. And if we have a phone conversation and I can give you some really valuable advice, how about staying in touch with me and letting me know how you implemented that advice or not, what kind of results you got in that area that we discussed, and how the business is progressing. And whenever, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a few months, whenever it makes sense, how about, because you've kept me in the loop and because I was able to see how you're progressing and growing the business, how about then checking in again and have another quick conversation to get some more advice, to share some more insight, and slowly but surely really grow the relationship to a point where I start getting more and more invested because I've been talking to you for a while. I've been seeing your progress. I've been part of your successes and failures. And you also see what kind of value I bring to the table as time passes by. Eventually, both parties might then feel like, wow, this is really a great relationship, and both benefit dramatically from it. So maybe after a year, maybe after 2, maybe after 6 months, at some point, it might make sense to make a more formal offer and say, hey, let's make this, official. Why don't you join us? And we want you to have equity and ownership in the business and so on and so forth. I think at that point, it makes perfect sense. And I'm not just speaking about myself. I think in general, the way that you should think about advisory boards is think about utilizing people's advice. People can give you advice without being official advisors, right? So how about building a relationship, creating value, staying in touch and communicating and getting to know the person that you want to have as an advisor on your advisory board before making official offers. Making an offer right out of the bat in an email to somebody you've never talked to is not a good idea. It doesn't make you seem like you make good judgment calls and you give equity up too easily because it's not worth that much. But that's not just advice to the people that want to build advisory boards. Also, on the other side, if you are somebody that is becoming more and more known and is an expert in one way or another, or can offer some kind of valuable advice, at least people think so, and they start approaching you, I know it's kind of an ego boost and it feels awesome to, I see some people's LinkedIn profile and it has like, I work here, and then they have 150 advisory and I'm on this board and that board and everything. And it makes them feel great, and I get it. That's cool. But maybe you also want to think about how it reflects potentially poorly on you, because if you are officially an advisor to a company, their success and failures will reflect back to you as well. And I will, if I look at your LinkedIn profile, or if I talk to that company, they tell me that you're an advisor, I will take that into consideration in the way that I think about you. So instead of saying yes to be as many advisory boards as possible and get as much, equity from startups as possible, maybe you want to be a bit more picky, right? You're worth it, right? Don't just give it away to everybody. But maybe you want to invest the time to get to know that team, be convinced that you can truly offer valuable advice, not just one time, but over time, again and again. And then when it makes sense, say, hey, I think we should make this more formal. I want to be an advisor. I want to have more ownership in the business, et cetera, and so forth. So this is a plea to the entire startup ecosystem, to all businesses really, but especially to startups. When you think about working with other people and getting advice from them, how about investing in the relationship first, getting to know them, getting to know their advice without being formal, and invest in the relationship first before you ever consider giving up equity and making something official, and vice versa. So I hope this is useful. I've been doing this a lot. Everybody that approaches me, I want to help, so I offer always to give advice for free, no equity, no nothing. I tell them, hey, let's jump on a call. I'll help as much as I can, and if you want to check back with me in a few weeks or months, please keep doing that. And eventually, if we both feel like it's a great fit, let's do that. And without exception, most of the time, it never goes beyond that first call. I never hear back from these companies. They either don't exist anymore, or they had big trouble, or they get distracted, or something else happens. It's kind of just solving itself. And I'm glad that I was able to help, but I'm also glad that I didn't invest a lot of time signing documents and getting equity in companies that don't really materialize into anything meaningful. And I'm glad that I don't waste their time in thinking about what to offer me and how to put me on their website. All that is kind of wasted energy and time, doesn't create any value. If you want to build advisory boards, and if you want to join companies as an advisor, invest informally in the relationship first before both sides are sold on the idea that this is a good deal.